Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds, home of 2 of the most creative people in all the world.
And we've got 10 more unique Commander deck ideas for you to try.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, bringing you daily content. Best way to support the channel right now is our Kickstarter, which is running. It's going to end very soon. We got like 2 weeks left, so go in, support it. We'd really appreciate it. It'll help us make amazing gameplay. Also, link in the description. TCG Player. Go there, fill your cart, buy the cards, and then we get a kickback on the order, courtesy of TCG Player. You spend no extra money, and you support local businesses, and you support the channel. Whoa.
All right, calm down there, sir. So today, we have 10 more unique Commander ideas where we're just going to tell you them so you can build them, because we have all these ideas. We can't build all these awesome decks, right, BZ?
No, we can't build them all, but we can have the ideas, spark some juices, get the juices flowing, spark some interest. Maybe you get this idea, maybe you take one part of what we're saying and you run with it. This is going to lead to so many cool decks being built.
Yes, it is. So we're just going to hop right into it. The first cool deck. Well, the commander is Volatile Monsters. Now, what is the caveat? What makes this an interesting, cool idea? Absolutely zero overlap. That means you don't even get another human in the deck because he's already a human.
No wizards either, and those are the 2 most popular creature types, right?
Yes, they are. So you don't get to play any of those. So a normal Volo deck can have as much overlap as you want because you can always exile creatures from your graveyard. The first one you're playing isn't going to matter because that'll just copy no matter what, because you won't have that. So what we get here is you really want to just, everything has to be different. You can play like Steve. Snakes aren't going to be a problem for overlap, but shamans might. Shamans are, a very popular creature type.
Maybe you don't want to play Steve. Maybe you want to move to like Birds of Paradise because there's no birds. And then for artifact and enchantment removal, you now can't play any changelings in your deck.
And you're not going to
share types.
Yeah, and you're also probably not going to play. What's the 2-mana or the 3-mana? The elf.
You can't play Rex Sage.
You probably can't play Rex Sage. Those are way too popular of creature types, and you're probably going to want those elsewhere. But you can play Caustic Caterpillar because it's an insect, and that's a lot. It's a lot easier to get. There's not as many insects. There's like 5.
And you can't play Mass Vandal because it's everything.
Yeah, you can't play Mass Vandal at all. That'd be bad. One of the coolest cards you get to play in this deck, Spark Double. It's an illusion that's not a very common creature type. Plus, it can copy Volo, which is just just gravy on top of all the other things this card can do. You can have 3 Volos enter, or you can just have it enter as any other awesome creature that you had, and it'll be copied in the stack. So it could even be 2 different. One could be Volo, one could be Caustic Caterpillar or Birds of Paradise, whatever you wanted it to be. On top of that, you could play other clones, because even though Spark Double is an illusion, most clones are shapeshifters. So you get to have 2 different kinds of clones, and they're all going to be awesome for your deck.
And in a regular Volo deck, you just play all the clones, but we can't play all the clones because we want to share any creature types.
Exactly. It's so cool. Yeah. This deck is super cool. I love the restrictions. What's going to make the deck feel unique is you're going to be stretching. You're going to be like, wow, okay, so I'm done with elf, shamans, wizards. Those went out the window like 4 seconds into building this deck. Now what do I stretch for? We got to get the oozes. Let's get an ooze in this deck now.
Also the question of what's the best elf that you could play? I don't know.
Yeah, if you can only play one elf, what elf do you play? Yeah.
What if that elf has subtypes like Druid that you can't split any? Anyway, the main point here, and probably for this whole series that's got 3 videos now in general, is like restrictions breed creativity, and creativity breeds some awesome commander decks.
Yeah, the way this deck would win is it would just go wide super easily. Obviously, if every single creature spell you cast is doubled, you're going super wide. So add in a End-Raised Forerunners or a Crater of Behemoth. Crater of Behemoth is a beast, so that's like a super used creature. Boar. There's no boars. This is the only boar you're going to need in your deck. So End-Raised Forerunner is probably actually a better choice for this deck. Plus you get 2. That's probably going to... +4/+4 is probably enough to kill most players.
There's also the giant from like Game Night that overruns. There's no giants. You don't really have to worry about that. And that's +6/+6.
All right. So what's next? What's our second deck idea here?
Next we have Ben Aki Hermit. Stay with me. Goad Tribal. Ben deals damage equal to the mountains when they attack us.
And we're trying to attack, period.
Right, and then we're just going to force them to attack.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
So I'm not even joking. You can literally add every single card that can go in the deck that can goad, except for I wouldn't play 1. There's like a 4/2 goblin for 4 mana that attacks and goads. So I wouldn't play. The rest, you got your Agitator Ant. That card's pretty strong.
Card's amazing.
If people don't know, and people don't know how to... The way to play against Agitator Ant is everybody says no.
Yeah.
But nobody knows that, so it goes crazy. Bloodthirsty Blade. That card has shown itself to be great. Disruptive Decorum, also good. Grenzo. There's just any card that says goat, basically. You're just going to throw them in your deck because you're going to force those attacks, and you can kill it afterward if you want to. Or you can just, even better, because of how attacking works, they attack. The player that makes choices to block or not, they don't block. They take 7 in damage step still, kill it with Aki after the damage is dealt.
Yeah, while it's attacking and just saying, I get the best of both. You take 7 and I'll kill it.
Yeah. Other great cards for this deck that just force attacks. Fumiko makes all of our opponents self-attack. Grand Melee just makes all creatures have to attack and block. I mean, it's going to be complete pandemonium. And Worst Toll works incredible with Goat. You goad one of their creatures, all of a sudden their whole team has to attack. It's going to force bad attack. It's going to let you always pick off the best creature.
And it usually forces everybody to play at sorcery speed unless they have a bunch of mana rocks. Tap 1 land for my creature that I have to play. Well, I'll tap all of them and I'll just play whatever else I can. I'm not holding up any instants. The way to win, probably just keep threats off the table. You got Ben, and then watch players kill each other, and then you just clean up whoever's left. You just say, "Oh, you're my last remaining opponent. I don't know, I'll Inferno Titan you or something."
Exactly. That's the whole thing. You just build up, and it doesn't really matter what your finisher is. Put a couple finishers in the deck. So this deck is gonna try and lock up second place, and then from there, it's your job to figure out how to take it from second to first.
Right. You're like guaranteed second. Just put some win conditions, play them appropriately, and then you'll get first.
Exactly. What's next, BZ?
It's Paying Life Tribal, helmed by Willow Dusk Essence Seer. We're just going to put every card ever that pays life, and then also find a bunch of ways to pay it off. Willow Dusk is one. We start with, hey, how much life did we lose this turn? Well, it was all from paying, so let's just go put 10 counters on a creature.
Yeah, exactly. So easy, like Necropotence it's already one of the best cards in the format. You add in the fact that now it just has... Now the Paying Life is a bonus for you. That's great. Airboss to draw some cards. Blood Tracker to draw some cards. Those are all 3 of those. You literally just pay life and draw some cards. And, well, there's a bonus on top of it with the Willow Dusk.
Yeah, an Unspeakable Symbol lets you pay almost as much life as you want. Put counters on. The Willow Dusk puts more counters on. This could one-shot someone now that I'm thinking about it. Easily.
Yeah.
Like you pay 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 life, put 5 counters on it. Then Willow Dusk puts 15 more counters on it. Okay.
This one I wanted to mention because I think it's the cutest thing. Elves of Deep Shadow just has all the synergy in the world.
It pays a life.
It
deals a damage.
It deals the damage to you. You lose, so if something deals the damage to you, that is equivalent to life loss, which is so cool. That it's just like mana dorks are already strong. 1 mana mana dorks. This one, what if it just had random synergy where it made you lose a life?
Yes. Also, ways to take advantage of this. Villa's Broker of Blood. Whenever you lose life, you draw that many cards. He has a pay life ability tacked right on. 8/8 Trampler, that can close out games. Font of Agonies also says whenever you pay life, you get that many counters on it, and then you can just start blowing creatures up with it. It's so sweet.
Yeah, this is a random card that I wanted to mention before we move on, is Blocks.
Yeah.
His front side's awful, but his backside is awful. But because it's so awful, you can lose so much life.
Yeah, you can pay 15 life with it, all right? And then Doom Whisperer, pay 2 any amount of times you want. Reckless Spite, nice 2-for-1 that pays life. And then Snuff Out's one of the better removal spells I think you can play. And it just pays 4 life. It happens to do
There
that.
just is a lot. There's a lot of ways to pay life. You can just search the term pay life or something along those lines. And you just find so many cards. This deck looks awesome. And the thing is, once you build this core with all the life loss, the rest of the stuff doesn't really matter. Just something like a, what is it called? It's not even Vampire Nighthawk, which is a very medium card that you would never actually play. It's going to carry counters so insanely well and make up for you lose all the life. And then you put the counters on and you gain it back with your life linkers. It's awesome.
Yeah, how about like Nighthawk Scavenger or Whip of Erebos?
I know. I mean, yeah, those cards are much better. I was more just being like, hey, here, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It could literally be Vampire Nighthawk and it won't matter because all you need it to have is the words lifelink on it.
Yeah, if it attacks for 20, probably in the clear. How about the number 4 deck?
Well, it's Nimrus, the Mono Flash deck. You have to be every single card in the deck has to be able to be played on our opponent's turn. The main weakness of this deck is going to be, and I mentioned it to BZ, you don't have mana rocks. You don't ramp, but you make up for that by always having something to cast on your opponent's turn. We have cards like Slither Wisp, which are basically it's another Nimrus. Because whenever you cast a spell on your opponent's turn, boom, draw a card. Pretty sweet. Notion Thief. There's just a lot of, I'm going to list a few cards off here. There's just a lot of good staple-y type cards that have flash. There's your Notion Thieves, your Brainstorms, Dress Down, Frantic Search. These are all just staple cards. Great cards. but they have flash, and you can play them on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, and the very key point to this deck. It's not a Nimmer's deck. It's not a heavy flash deck. It's only flash.
Yes.
Every single spell has to have flash or be an instant. No exceptions.
Yes, you have to be able to play it on your opponent's turn. And it doesn't mean that you get to play like Leyline of Anticipation and say, well, everything can be. No,
let's not.
Cheating.
Leyline of Anticipation doesn't have flash. Get it out of your deck. That's not how
Exactly.
this works.
Exactly, BC. A great point. But you get to play there's at least dig through time's already a good card. I love Torrential Gearhulk in this deck. Every single one of your instances flash backable with it. That's pretty awesome. Snapcaster doing the same thing.
You get a billion counter spells. It's probably how you actually win. Is you have to flood the board with some threats. We're gonna have to get creative. We're gonna have to play things like what's his name? Lockmere Serpent.
Yep.
Torrential Gearhulk, like these big flash creatures to close things out. Protect things with like rewind and then untap and then have another counter spell and go in.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about counter spells. And the fact is, what makes this deck so strong is the commander itself. It pays off flash so well. You just want to be able to cast a spell every single turn. And usually you'd run out of cards quick. But the fact is, Nimmer's just adds more and more cards to your hand.
Yeah, and since every card has to have flash, you don't get to do the boring cop-out of taking Thassa's Oracle, Jace, Labman win, because you can't, because they don't have flash. So you got to figure something else out, which is probably beat down with creatures.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we wanted to take the easy road and just go, yeah, let's run with Thassa's Oracle. No, it doesn't have flash.
Can't play it.
Also, if that could have flash, oh my God.
It would be slightly better.
It's already insane. It'd be insaner.
All right. Speaking of insaner, what is number 5?
It's the plane deck. You pick a plane. Whatever plane you like. You can pick Ravnica. Ravnica's probably one of the easier ones to do.
Kaladesh.
Chandelar.
Yep.
Yeah, you probably can't do Chandelar. But
you can pick it.
Innistrad, Zendikar, the ones that we've visited at least a little bit, all the cards are from those sets, from those planes. Some of them have to be from the set because like a card like Remorseful Cleric is from like M20 or 19.
Something.
And it is from Innistrad. So you can use that card because you know it's from Innistrad.
As long as you can prove it's from Innistrad, you can use it in the Innistrad deck. Now, we have an Innistrad deck as a sampler just to show you some of the stuff you get. You can either build this as a restriction, sort of like, here's the card pool, now build whatever deck you want, like try to build the best deck you can, that'd be fun. Or build a flavor deck where it's like, this is the Innistrad deck built around the character that's in my command zone. Some of the like really good cards you get like Anguish Unmaking, Imprison in the Moon, Blood Artist, also Emrakul the Promised End, like one of the best cards in Commander anyway.
Yeah, all these cards are just from the planes. For Commander options, you get like Archangel Avacyn, Liza, Bruna, Sigarda, Gisela, all those. They just, from that plane, Gisa, Geralf, they hang out together on the plane. They're brother-sister.
Yeah, you can play the 2-color ones, or you can play either of the 1-color ones. They're from Commander, but obviously they're only from Innistrad.
Yeah, for the lands, you get stuck a little bit because you have to only go, you're trying to do lands from the deck. So the basics are easy. You choose the basic arts from Innistrad. That's easy.
But the duels and the fixing.
Yeah, you got to make sure from the plane. Like Isolated Chapel Works or Wooded Footlands.
Yes. How about I'll just say all the ones you get. Also, Wooded Footlands, not a magic card.
Shut up.
You get the Reveal Ally lands. You get the Enemy Check lands. You get all 10 of the utility lands like Gavin Township, Kessig Wolf Run. You get the Ally duels that just came out of Midnight Hunt, which are really good in Commander.
They're called the Slow Lands.
The Slow Lands? I was thinking Slow Lands, but I'm like, no, that's stupid. I really did have that typed out.
Slow Lands, I think that's why I've heard them called so far, Slow Lands, because the Fast Lands are the opposite.
And Innistrad deck staple, Evolving Wilds.
Yes, so you can have every single one of those. You're going to have a lot of basics in these decks, which is a little rough, but that's okay. There might be one fetch land from the remember they did them from planes.
Ooh.
There's probably one of those fetch lands.
You'll get a shock too.
You'll probably get a fetch land and a shock. I don't know which ones, but you'll probably get some.
Yeah. Well, also now that I'm thinking about it, you get like Gyro Reach Sanitarium. I love that land.
No one knows what that is.
No one could ever know what that
yes,
is.
Yes, they could. It's Sanitarium.
By Metallica?
By Metallica. You might have heard it.
But it's
Welcome Home, Sanitarium.
But it's done horribly. Number 6. Oops. All spells in Commander? What? All spells means your deck contains goose egg 0 lands.
Yes. So one of the main things to start this off, you go MDFCs. You slam the MDFCs in because on the front side they aren't lands. So that really is just going to make us win here.
Yeah, because we're going to play cards that care about revealing until we hit lands, or things that care about number of lands in your deck, which is 0 as far as the game is concerned. But we're still going to be able to make land drops every turn. You have, I think, 6 of each color MDFCs, so that's, up to 36. You don't even have to play all of them, which is pretty funny. We're going to accelerate with all the fast mana, so you can kind of count those as land spots. Mana Crypt, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Elvish and Simeon Spirit Guides if you want. Crow Mox is another good one.
Yeah, so we're just going to go crazy, and we're going to try and get out our Undercity Informer, or Balustrade Spy, which both say that a player mills until they hit a land. If there's no lands, they're going to be gone. So what's going to end up happening is we're going to mill over Narcomoeba and some other stuff to put a couple creatures in play. Then Dread Return to bring back Thoracle and win the game.
Yes, or we could have a Labman or a James Builder of Mysteries and win the same way. Also, alternative instant KO for somebody, and it's repeatable, Goblin Charbelcher. Boop, activate, take 100.
Yeah, you literally just kill one player at a time. This also can be held up at instant speed, so what you can do is you can wait until somebody threatens you and then kill.
Well, this deck's definitely playing ways to untap that thing.
That's fair.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
you're just like, all right, you, and then you, and I'll let you go. Do you have anything?
That is a lot of mana, though.
Well, you untap it, that's 7 mana.
Yeah, I'm just like...
Like Voltaic Key it, that's 7.
Yeah, that's fair. What I was thinking was like, it costs like 4 to play, 3 to activate, 3 to activate again. Oof. This just starts adding up real quick on mana.
Oh, we have plenty of lands.
This deck is filled with lands.
And as a backup, Agadeem's Awakening. Emeria's Call makes 2 4/4s.
That doesn't sound so good.
we gotta find those win cons.
All right, let's move on to our next one. It's another flavor deck. This is Rexian Tribal. You can either just play like Phyrexians as the creatures, or you can go with more of a theme. You want Yawgmoth in there. He's not a Phyrexian on his card, but he is the leader of the Phyrexian, so you're going to want him on your flavor side.
There's 2 options as far as I'm concerned if you want to make an actual Phyrexian Tribal deck. You can go Infect, probably helmed by Atraxa, and you get things like Skithiryx and Phyrexian Crusader, just every card that has Infect on it. Or you can go literally just boost my Phyrexians, play Tribal Payoffs, and play every cool Phyrexian creature.
Yeah, there's just so many cool Phyrexians. BZ listed on here Morphon, because if you want to get the red, I think it's a cop-out. I think you have to go to Atraxa, you have to suffer and not have red, because Morphon, I don't care if he's technically a Phyrexian. He's not really a Phyrexian.
Literally a Phyrexian.
He
actually wasn't and then became a Phyrexian recently.
Yes. But regardless, I think Atraxa is the way to go. You stick to the 4 colors. You still get most of the Phyrexians. There are so many cool Phyrexians.
Like?
Glissa, Geth, Crick, Massacre Worm, which is the card that I didn't even know was a Phyrexian until they made it a Phyrexian. Casket, Priest of Gix, which is a random one. It's such a Volrath. There's so many cool Phyrexians. It turns out there's also every single one of the Praetors. They're really cool.
They're like the coolest things ever. So to actually tie this together and not make it a random amalgamation of cards that say Phyrexian that do nothing, we tie them together with all of the tribal payoffs that we've gotten over the years, to where I think 2 years ago, even if Phyrexian was a type, you could not build this deck. But now we have Realmwalker, Herald's Horn, Cavern of Souls, Etchings of the Chosen, Pact of the Serpent, Urza's Incubator, Kindred Discovery, which is insane, Species Specialist, and Vanquisher's Banner. To now, it matters that we're actually playing Phyrexians. We get a thing. Our Phyrexians get stronger. Our Phyrexians get cheaper. And it's not just, hey guys, here's some Phyrexians. It's like, all right, all Phyrexians, and they work together.
Yeah. And make sure you get a Phyrexian Swamp for your deck, even though they're like $20.
Yeah, you're going to try to play as few of those as possible. Just pimp your deck out with dual lands. They'll be cheaper. This next one was a deck I almost built, but then I shelved it because I don't like the commander. But you could really play any commander. Anyway, it's Golos Tireless Pilgrim, or 5-color, Mono Black Devotion. The reason to play Mono Black in a 5-color deck and restrict yourself to only cards that cost black is you get access to every super pip-intensive card that's hybrids.
Yes. So you get like Fulminator Mage, which can destroy some stuff. Deathrite Shaman, because even though you can just play it for black, it does have a green, and it's cost same thing with Fulminator Mage having red. Ashiok, Dreamender having blue. Like these are the cards that you could never put into your usual mono black decks. But you get to switch that up and put these in these decks.
Right. We're literally just playing 5-color so that we can play all these awesome real mono black devotion cards. You know, like Nightveil Spectre was key in that mono black standard deck, but we can never play that in Commander. We get Demigod of Revenge, Divinity of Pride. They're both good for, I think Demigod's 5 pips and Divinity's 4 pips. Mm-hmm. It's just like, and you also get Demogoth Titan and Dramatic Finale, also 4 pips each.
Just, yeah. Lots
Fiend Artisan? It's just 4 pips.
Okay, all right.
4 pips, and what do we actually do with it?
Well, we pay it off with all the mono black devotion payoffs. Like, well, the most boring, easy one, and probably the best by about a mile, is Grey Merchants of Asphodel. Card is amazing, and when you have a deck super devoted to Mono Black Devotion like this, you're going to just absolutely crush with one Grey Merchant.
Underworld Hermit, it's going to be 6 mana for like, I don't even know how many scrolls. I could picture
3.
you getting 25.
I'm picturing 4.
I could picture 25 scrolls off this. Mogus's Marauders is a sweet one if you want to find a way to reanimate a bunch of creatures at once. It gives them all haste, where X is your devotion to black. I don't know why this black card is giving haste so much. That's what it does.
Yeah, weird.
Also get Sanguimancy, which is just going to be basically, what's that card? Ad Nauseum. It's 4 and a black sorcery. Draw X, lose X, where X is your devotion to black. Let's go, baby. Draw my whole deck.
Yeah, Abhorrent Overlord is just like Underworld Hermit, but these ones I think are flying, right?
Yeah, they're flying harpies. You also get, obviously, the 2 Ereboses. It's going to tie the whole room together.
Yeah, so it's a black devotion deck, but you get to play hybrid mana. That's the unique part of this deck.
Right, and you could do this with any color also. I think black has the best devotion payoffs, but you could go mono white, mono blue, mono green.
All right, next. Yes, this next one I was excited about. I thought this was super cool. It is Gisela Damage Multipliers deck. I love this idea. The whole idea is Gisela already doubles your damage output. Not only your damage output, it doubles your opponents damaging each other, which is super cool.
And halves your damage input.
It halves what's being
input. Let's say input.
Whatever. But the whole idea here is you play it all. You play every single way to double the damage so that the math just gets crazy. My goal with this deck, honestly, would be to play as many of these as possible, and I want to gut shot for 0 mana to kill an opponent. Ooh. So we're going to do that with Insult to Injury, which is going to double up some damage, Furnace of Wrath, Fiery Emancipation, triple. That's going to get there. Dictate of the Twin Gods, Bitter Fuel, Curse of
Bitter Feud.
You wrote Fuel.
I know, but it's Feud.
Don't yell at me. Bitter Feud. We have Curse of Bloodletting. I don't know what that one is. What is that one, BZ?
It's those same effect, but you only curse one person.
Okay. Yeah, I actually just haven't heard that one. And the last one is Angrass Marauders. You take all these cards. I want to get them all on the battlefield as much as possible.
I don't know how, but we're going to do it.
Well, we are in white, so we do have a great advantage. A lot of these are enchantments. We can tutor up enchantments in white, which is going to be a huge advantage for us. Like, I probably just play Plea for Guidance because I'm so all in on doing this. So we do that. We get as many on the battlefield as we can, and we just go for, I want the gut shot. If you can get the gut shot victory, and you can show me it in a picture, I would be so happy. I'd be the happiest person ever.
I think you round this deck out with white double strike creatures.
Yeah.
For the more realistic, like, okay, if it, 1 double to 4, 8, 16, hit you twice, you're dead.
Yeah. What is, so wait, how many of these effects? So if we have Fire Emancipation, that's triple.
Yep.
Times 6 for a 2.
Uh-huh.
So what, I'm just trying to see, I'm wondering.
Well, you're already dead to Gisela.
Jeez. Wow, this is so cool.
Doesn't Gisela just kill you with Fire Emancipation?
Yep.
This is 30.
That's amazing. This deck looks so cool. Making it work, it's tough. It's going to be tough, but it's super cool.
Well, there's so many cards that say enchantments cost less. Maybe you can work with that.
Yeah, this deck would take some a lot of like building and getting it just right. But if you can execute the game plan, it's going to be awesome.
You need to play one of Gutshot.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. If you can,
absolutely. The
goal is to kill someone with Gutshot. Period. That is what the deck wants to do. We are trying to kill somebody with Gutshot.
If somebody asks you, what's your win condition? This deck looks really cool. And you're holding one card, you're like, Gutshot. You're like, Last deck, and one of the coolest, it's called Bananas because every card can trip.
Okay, well, to explain the joke a little better, when you peel a banana, there's a banana peel.
Yep. And
you slip on banana peels.
Right.
So cantrip.
And a cantrip.
It's like 4 layers removed, but the deck's called Bananas.
And a cantrip is when you have an effect that replaces itself in Magic. So this is a stipulation. Every card, not every spell, every card in your deck has to say draw a card or immediately replace itself when you cast the spell. That's not a lot of cards, but you just get to have this always churning out resources, continuously making moves, drawing a million cards, having a ton of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot to do here. And you actually get to go in on lands. Because you have Triomes. BZ wrote 10 cyclers. Are you talking about the 1-mana cyclers?
There's 5 1-mana cyclers and there's 5 2-mana cyclers.
You missed some. There's also the deserts.
There's also, the 5
so
deserts.
There's 15 of those.
15 one-color cyclers, and there's the 5 Amonkhet cyclers, and then there's the 6 Horizon lands. You probably want this deck to be 5-color. Pick your poison for the commander.
Exactly, yeah. So there's
preferably one that says draw card, I guess.
Yeah, and then like some of the best cards, I mean, the Decree of Annihilation, Decree of Pain, are just, they cycle.
So they replace themselves, and you can do whatever you want with them.
Exactly, but they randomly allow you to get around the rule kind of, because you can play a Decree of Annihilation, you technically won't get the cantrip side.
It's literal. It says draw card right on it.
It does, and that's fair. Arcana Cruelty is one of the coolest because I love that card.
That's a cantrip.
It just randomly, it does cantrip. It does a lot more than cantrip, but it does cantrip. Sublime Epiphany are my favorite 6-mana cantrip.
Totally. A Baleful Force is Phyrexian Arena, but on every single upkeep.
All right, to mention a card just because it's like, well, what are we feeling? If that's what we're playing, that's like 85 mana. Every single thing. You just well, there's actually some decent cards. Like there's Baleful Strix, which is actually just going to be a good card in your deck.
You get Preordained Ponder, like all of the small stuff we wanted to point out, like, because when I think every card in your deck has to draw a card, my first question is, how do I win?
Confounding Conundrum also going to just actually be good.
Confounding Conundrum, which one's that?
That's the one where if they play a second land in the turn, they bounce a land.
Oh, yeah, you get to play Dress Down and all those like stupid hosers.
Yep, yeah, just random hosers.
Ground Seal, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Not Ground Seal. That card's awful.
No, it's a Cycler.
How do we win, BZ?
Well, we have big chonkers. We mentioned those. You can win with any of those cards eventually, right? I mean, they're big creatures. They do things. But just in case, we have a 1-of Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, because it's +1 cantrips, and that can let us win the game.
Yes. But guess what? That's our video. Special shout-outs to every single one of our patrons. We appreciate every single one of you. You guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting this channel.
I hope this sparked you to have some cool deck ideas. Hope this gave you some juice for that purpose.
Juice.
We want you to use the TCG Player link in the description because we love you. When you click the link and buy cards, starting with the link, TCG Player notices and they say, wow, those Nitpicking nerds are going to get some extra money under their pillows tonight. And it was all because of you, spending no extra money.
Very much appreciated. If you'd like to help us out, be the 104th person to give money to our Kickstarter, we would much appreciate that. It's for a gameplay series called Scuffle Shuffle.
It's going to be great.
Lit.
It's Shuffle Scuffle. You got the name wrong.
Did I really get it wrong?
Yeah.
Shuffle Scuffle, yeah.
Much like the announcer in Spider-Man, you got the name wrong.
Get out there, you idiots.
Get out there, you moron.
Oh, sorry. Get out there, you moron.
That's a really good scene.
Classic.
Tidbit.
Tidbit. Yeah, I think it's my turn for this
Definitely
one.
your turn. I struggled
It
last
is.
time.
Ooh. I am on 4 out of 5 days. 4 of the last 5 days I've worked out. I've gone jogging and I've done some like stretching and some core exercises. So
wait, you missed yesterday?
I missed yesterday, but
and you did 3 days before that?
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah. I'm 4 out of 5.
And in unrelated news, time is flying by, and I thought that's not how time works.
Yeah.
But apparently 5 days have passed since 5 days ago.
My goal isn't to like necessarily look better, but that is an
Too late.
It is an upside of working out. You do end up, you lose weight, your body, like I don't mind being a little chubby. That doesn't really bug me too much, but I want to be healthy. I want to live a longer life and just kind of not die.
Yeah, he's going to unlock the, there's a secret Patreon tier where you donate $100,000 and then neither of us could die because we have all the medical bills paid for. Yeah. Sadly, not even close. $100,000 with my off-the-cuff number, not even close to pay for medical bills.
No.
If you're actually dying. Not even close.
Medical bills are absurd.
It is like you get bankrupt.
Let's not get into politics.
That wasn't politics. That was medical bills.
This is going to quickly spawn into politics if we don't end the video.
What could ever be done about this?
Peace out, Tribe Scout.